Hello, boys and girls. I'm Ms Bischof. I teach first grade at Roxborough. I'm going to read to you today chapter 32 of Masterpiece, A Revelation. James closed the door softly behind them. He flipped the light switch, surveying the small, tidy living room of the apartment. "What is this place?" he asked Marvin. "Who's Gordon Perry?" Who indeed? A friend of Denny's? An accomplice in the theft? Marvin had no idea. He moved to the tip of James's finger and once again dangled his legs in the air. "Where do you want to go now?" James asked. He began to walk slowly around the living room. Using the technique they'd perfected earlier, Marvin guided James, with a few false stops and starts, to the closed door of the study. "Okay," James said, "in here." He opened the door and stepped inside. "Huh." He looked around, scanning the bookshelves and table. Then he walked to the desk, glanced at the stack of mail. "This is his place, all right, but there's nothing here, little guy. What do we do now?" He hesitated in front of the window, staring gloomily out at the falling snow. "I have to go back. My dad will really worry. And if he calls my mom, well, you know how she is." "No, not yet, James," Marvin begged. He ran back and forth along James's finger. "Okay, relax. What are you trying to tell me?" James turned toward the closet where Marvin was pointing himself. "Something in there?" Marvin scurried to the end of James's finger and drummed all his legs in place, doing a frantic dance. His brow furrowing, James crossed the room and opened the closet door, revealing a jumble of coats and a few packing boxes. The briefcase was on the floor in the back. Marvin flung his front legs over to the precipice of James's fingertip, waving them in midair. "What?" James asked, squatting on his heels. "It's just a bunch of boxes. What are you so excited about?" Marvin whirled in circles, desperate for James to discover Denny's secret. "Is it something about the drawing?" Overcome with frustration, Marvin hurled himself from James's finger to the floor and ran across the wooden boards to the briefcase. "Oh," James said, "that thing? Okay, let's see." He picked up Marvin very gently and tugged the briefcase out of the closet. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, he set it on its side and flipped the latches. "It's just a bunch of papers," he said. Marvin dove off his finger once again, landing smack in the middle of the packaging that surrounded the drawings. "Listen, little guy, we have to go back to the museum. I don't know what you think is here, but..." Marvin pounded on the top layer of paper with his legs, thoroughly beside himself. James took a deep breath. "I don't think I should mess around with this stuff. That Perry guy will notice and get mad." Marvin rolled onto his back and waved all 6 of his legs in the air, as dramatic an SOS sign as he could think of. "Geez," James said, "you're going crazy." He touched the edge of the top paper with his fingers. With all his might, Marvin flipped himself onto his stomach and ran to the edge of the sheet. James shifted it aside and hesitantly unwrapped what was underneath. He gasped. There, unveiled in all its glory, was fortitude. James stared. "It's the real one," he said haltingly, as if he couldn't trust his own eyes. "It is, isn't it?" He looked down at Marvin in amazement. "You found it! The one that was stolen! How did you do that?" James sprang to his feet, trembling. He began to pace around the table, gripping his head with both hands and talking so fast that Marvin could barely keep up. "That Perry guy must have taken it. We have to tell Dad. We have to tell Christina and Denny. What if he comes back? What if he finds us here?" Suddenly, James reached down and plucked Marvin from the paper, positioning him snugly under his cuff. He looked around the room. Spying the phone on the desk, he rushed to it. "We'll call my dad," he said. "He'll know what to do." He punched the numbers and held the phone tightly against his cheek, waiting. After a minute, he groaned. "It's not going through. He must be someplace where his cell phone doesn't work." Marvin tried to think what to do. But James didn't hesitate. He punched in more numbers. "Hello? New York City? Can I have the phone number for the Met? Yeah, the museum. No, wait, not the recording. I need a real person. Yeah, that's good. Thanks." He wrote a number on a pad of paper on the desk, then dialed it. "Hi, can you connect me to Christina Balcony's office?" James's voice exploded with excitement. Denny, it's me, James. I found the drawing. I found fortitude.